To fully enjoy Give Me Mine, start at Chapter 1 and follow through to the most current video. To enhance the story, narration may be slightly different than the actual story in the book. Get your copy today and follow along. Enjoy.
Now, Janay was 18 and her life had changed drastically. The past 3 years were definitely good to her. Mr. Chow and that damn drugstore were history, and he was just too perverted. So Janay had to quit after 3 months. She couldn't deal with him, and the way he lustfully looked at her with his slanty eyes. Anyway, after her second month of working there, she had all kinds of shit from his store in her home. His biggest mistake ever was giving her a key to the store. Janay never had a problem with opening early in the morning and closing late at night because she knew that it would benefit her. Most times at night, she would leave with a backpack full of shit. Stuff like tissue, soap, and other household needs. And Janay even had a hustle on the side selling stuff to some of her neighbors. That quick extra cash helped her get on her feet. Her last day was 2 weeks before inventory time, and all she could think about was poor Mr. Chow. When he was finished counting and adding up everything, he would then realize that lots of things were not accounted for, and Janay would be long gone. And she felt that he got what he deserved for having intentions of having sex with a minor. And now, she no longer felt like a klepto and didn't need to steal in order to survive. And she had kicked that habit years ago. Over the past 3 years, she had evolved from a young girl, and now she was a woman to the fullest. And you could call her blessed or lucky, but you could not call Janay broke. And she was paid out the ass, thanks to her man Scottie. Her 2-bedroom project home was now fully furnished and roach-free. They didn't want to leave, but they definitely had to go. And she spent 3 days in a hotel until the job was done. Her home was so different now. The beanbag chair was replaced with the gray couch and love seat in her living room. And she accented the space with soft pink and white. The crates that she used to use as a TV stand were gone. And now her flat screen was mounted on the wall. Candles lit up the place and vanilla scent filled the air. It was simple, but elegant and cute. Much different from before. The Sony speaker and surround sound system were picked out by Scottie. And when the volume was at its max, the bass shook the whole house. The lonely twin mattress that used to be on the floor was replaced with a queen-size bed. The kitchen was equipped with all the necessary appliances and stocked cupboards. Her bathroom was remodeled, and the toilet's flushing system was up to par. No more lifting the top of the tank and pulling the chain inside just to flush. She had evolved into a young, independent woman with her own style. A lover of fashion now, she wouldn't be caught dead in public, wearing anything less than the best. Every time she stepped out of her red 1998 limited edition Ford Mustang, she had to bite her lip just to make sure she wasn't dreaming. Janay couldn't complain about her life, and she was pleased. And she had no intentions of moving away from West Lawn because no matter how much money she had, it was her home. And she was comfortable, and it was all she knew. And guess what? Diane had earned the privilege of Janay calling her mother again. And she had been clean and sober for the past 8 months. And Janay was so proud of her. No drugs, no alcohol, and no more walking those Milwaukee streets late at night. There were no sudden tragedies or any revelations that provoked her recovery. And she was just tired of it, so she gave it up cold turkey. But to remain clean, she took classes and joined support groups just to stay on the right path. And she stayed with Janay because the place was put in Janay's name when she turned 18. Now everything in it was Janay's and was Janay's responsibility. It looked like a totally different place from when Janay was 15. And even though it was the projects and the outside looked like shit sometimes, when you entered her house, you couldn't help feel like you were inside of a fancy condo. Even after 8 months, Janay was still a bit skeptical, and she kept an eye on her mother. Sad to say, but she didn't know how long her mother's clean streak would last. Janay couldn't even imagine going back to that poverty lifestyle that she used to have. And she'd rather die first. And she didn't want to come home one day and have all her shit missing. And she hated to doubt her mother, but rules were rules. Janay felt that it was too soon for her mother to have her own key to her place. So Diane had to be out of the house when Janay wasn't home. Janay wasn't taking any chances with all of her new stuff. And Diane didn't really mind anyway because she was always working and attending her weekly 12-step classes. And guess what? And she was even saved now.
Y'all seen God's trying to tell you something. Why don't y'all seen God's trying to tell you something?
Every other word out of her mouth was hallelujah this, hallelujah this, hallelujah that. All she did was hallelujah all damn day long. It was impossible to keep Diane out of church. At least 4 times a week, she could be found at New Holy Rock Healing Ministries, telling her testimony and getting her praise on. And she often got angry when Janay did not want to join her. But church was the farthest thing from Janay's mind right now. Just hearing Kirk Franklin's annoying voice around the house every day was more than enough for her. One morning, Diane searched the house for her disc so she could hear her favorite song, Stomp. But the only thing she found was her CD on the floor, stomped into pieces. Janay was over it and she couldn't listen to it one more day. Her mother was brokenhearted. And 2 days later, Janay took her shopping and replaced her CD. And she felt bad about what she had done. And she was taking care of her mother just like her mother took care of her when she was a little girl. And Janay didn't mind at all. It felt so good to have her mother back. Man, sometimes she would piss Janay off asking how and where she got everything that she had. Man, she knew Janay didn't have a job, and every other day she was questioning Janay about shopping bags full of clothes that she came into the house with. Sometimes Diane would just stand in front of Janay's closet and try to mentally add up all the outfits from looking at the price tags dangling from the sleeves. And then she'd head over to the new shoes stacked against the wall. Then after that, she bitched to Janay about it. And she also didn't approve of her being with Scottie because to Diane, Scottie was a loser. Janay, he just a no-good heathen, and you know it.
He get on my last nerve. I can't stand when he come around here with them goofy looks and making them goofy faces. With that goofy look on his face. He ain't that cute, smoking that stuff all the darn time. He smell funny. Come over here and kick his feet up. They stink, digging in his nose all the time. Farting all over the place. Smells so bad. All that, this and that, every day, all day. He get on my darn nerve.
She tried her hardest to keep it clean when she would talk bad about Scottie because she was saved. But every now and then, she might call him a damn fool when she was really frustrated with his actions. And she never had one nice thing to say about him to his face or behind his back. But it was too late for that shit now. He had been there for Janay when Diane wasn't. And Janay owed him her life. Not to mention the love she had for him. Walking out on him now was definitely out of the question. Everything that Janay had now, he made possible. And she loved him for so many reasons. Scottie kept his word and made a way for her just like he told her he would. And Diane knew how much Janay hated it when she would disrespect Scottie. Whenever Scottie came by the house, Diane just went into her room and closed the door. What she had to understand was that their home was Janay's place now. And if she wanted to have Scottie stay overnight sometimes, she would. And if she wanted to fuck him in the living room on her leather furniture in broad daylight with the blinds wide open, she would. And if she wanted to roll up a fat-ass blunt and get high with her man, she would. It was something that Diane just had to deal with because she had no other choice. And she couldn't get it any better than she had it because Janay never asked her for a dime. And she had it too good. All in all, Janay was proud of her. And they were now the mother and daughter team that she always hoped they'd be. She was a great support system for Janay right now, and Janay was a great support system for her too. Her life had gotten better, but Janay still had no friends, and it was tough going through her pregnancy without the father there. And she was 6 months pregnant. 6 months pregnant. 6 months pregnant. And the only time she saw Scottie was when he wanted her to drive for him, or if he wanted some pussy. Janay's home and her heart was always open when it came to Scottie. And he could get away with murder and she would do whatever he asked of her. And she loved him dearly. And she swore sometimes he could be so typical, then other times so different from the rest. And she came to realize that Scottie was just a man. Just like so many others, he came with baggage and demons. And he carried so many childhood scars and war wounds from the streets. He held on to so much hurt and unresolved trauma from growing up in an unfortunate environment. But he did the best that he could every day to make a better life for himself. And she could completely identify with it all. And she understood.